Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Toad TV. I am Mary Beth.
I'm Helen.
We are the creative hands and minds behind Toad Hollow, and today is Tuesday, October 8th. I know that it is October 8th because yesterday was sister number 3's birthday.
Right.
And we have such an awesome birthday present for her. She's coming out this weekend, and I can't wait to give it to her. It's one of those where you just can't wait to give it.
Right. But she watches, so we can't show.
Yeah. We'll show next week.
Right.
Anyway, so today we are talking about back to school projects. So for those of you that are new, in September, we got together with a friend of ours and decided that in order to jumpstart our creativity, we would treat it like back to school, and each of us would have 5 subjects and a project to go with each subject. So we're going to give you, we'll go over quickly what the subjects are that match our projects and give you updates on them. So that's going to be the bulk of this. Some of it's knitting, some of it's sewing, some of it's cross stitch. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, I mean, the projects were meant to be a little bit of everything so we could touch everything, but actually finish things.
Right.
So.
And we'll give you updates and let you know whether we think we're actually going to finish them or not.
Right.
And then it's going through the end of Thanksgiving week. So it's 13 weeks overall. We're going to see how we do. And we may get extensions
about halfway through, I think,
to go through like Christmas, depending on how the
Easter
projects are going. We shall see. However, we do have one update. Well, actually, we have 2 things to mention for the store. So first up, Patreon. Our patrons, we have a level of Patreon where you get a skein of yarn every month. For those of you that got yours for September, they have just finished drying. I know that we're into October. We're a little bit late, but they're coming.
Okay. So, it's if you are a patron and you're waiting for your September, not if you've gotten your September. We know you haven't gotten it yet because we haven't sent it.
Yes. No, it's if you're waiting. For those of you that are waiting for your September yarns, they're coming. I promise. They're going out today. And then the other thing is
we have a new listing in the shop. It's a fun thing for October that we're doing, and it's called Trick or Treat. And it is essentially buying a mystery skein. Will it be a trick or a treat? They are discounted.
They come in a little brown paper lunch sack with a Halloween sticker on it.
Right. And you get to determine when you open it, did you get a trick or a treat? It's going to be a treat because we dyed it.
It's our yarn. You're getting a treat.
So you get, when you go into the listing, you're going to have some choices that you do get to make. You can choose the weight of yarn you would like, from fingering to worsted. And you can choose whether you would like a tonal or a variegated.
So
and the rest of it is up to us.
Yes, but from fingering to worsted, that means fingering, DK, or worsted. Right. I don't want you thinking they're like mystery little things. 3 weights.
And some of them are just extra skeins that we have of colors that you've seen before. Some of them are one-offs where the color is beautiful, but it didn't fit with what we had dyed it for. So it's just...
Some of them are coming from way back in the vault.
Right. Essentially, there's a sale on the yarn, and we're adding a little Halloween spin to it.
Right. Oh, so, and mystery, because you don't get to pick.
Right.
You get to make some decisions.
Well, that's
kind of like when you go trick-or-treating, you might get raisins, and you might get a full-size candy bar.
Don't go to that house.
So if you'd like to do that, go ahead and just click over to Trick or Treat bags in the shop.
Right. I will put a link down below to the listing, and we'll run that through Halloween.
Yeah.
Or,
Halloween.
You buy all the yarn.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So. Don't think that's going to happen. But hey, anything could happen.
And it's $25 a skein. So there is a
sale.
Nice little discount on it.
Yeah. So. Okay. Alrighty.
Back to school.
Back to school, right. I kind of think we should make more of a big deal of that. Trick or treat bags, people. Come trick or treating with Toad Hollow. What could be better?
Right. And then it's a cool way to get a mystery skein. And yeah, you get to pick tonal or variegated, then you'll like it.
Right. All right. Back to school. All right. So as we said, back to school was our way of getting ourselves really psyched about starting new projects because, well, not so much starting new projects, because I get very excited about starting new projects. It's finishing projects
Right.
that I get a little bit bogged down on.
And it was also a way to start some projects that had intimidated. I mean, some of them were easy enough to start, but some of them had been sitting in the wings waiting to be started because they intimidated us.
Just a little bit.
And it was a way of kind of nudging ourselves into something new.
Right. Okay. So I am going to start with my history project. My history project is all about the Renaissance period. And in the Renaissance period, people started using dragons as their heralds on their shields and things like that. So I am doing a foundation paper piecing
Look at him.
dragon. This is how far I've gotten. I still have to do his bottom. His bottom half.
Fantastic.
So this is his top half. And I originally thought I might make him into a wall hanging to hang over my bed, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to add a border going around the outer parts of it, and I'm going to turn this into a pillow.
Do you think it can be like a 12 by 16, or you think you're going to have to stuff it?
Oh, I'm not stuffing it. I'm pushing it out to a 16 by 16 or a 12 by 16.
Okay.
Whatever works with the shape.
So you're going to make it.
It is going to be a
pillow
pre-made
form.
pillow because I tried stuffing a pillow once and that did not, well, more than once, it did not go well. So it will be a pre-made form. But that's where I am so far. So foundation paper piecing is done using a sewing machine, but you have to sew based on a paper pattern. The big thing is lining up the sides properly, but making sure that you have enough fabric when you fold it over to actually cover the space. Anybody who's done foundation paper piecing will know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's rickrack. I'm like, God, those are tiny little triangles.
Yeah, no, I had to fit rickrack between two of the lines.
That's fantastic.
But the big thing that I kept running into was I had it going to the wrong side of the line so that when it actually opened up, it was hidden in the seam allowance and not sticking out the way it was supposed to. So I had to take it out a couple times. But I finally got it. Okay. So I'm really, really pleased with the way he looks. This is one of the ones that we were a little bit intimidated by because we had never done foundation paper piecing before. And as long as you're very careful and you follow the instructions, I've watched a video showing how to do it a couple of times. Every time I start it again, I watch the video over again because I'm sure sooner, if I keep doing it, it will ingrain itself in my head as to what to do.
And I think the biggest thing is just be overly generous in the piece of fabric that you're choosing. Don't try and squeeze a tiny little scrap. Oh, I've got plenty.
Right.
You don't.
Also,
I just used great big huge pieces of fabric that I then cut.
When I did it with one of them, I had a really big piece of fabric, but when I folded it over, instead of going like this way to cover the piece that I needed, it went this way. So I had to take that one out and start over again and get it angled right so that it was going, because you think that you're lining up the sides properly, it's going to fold over the way you want it to, but it doesn't always do that. So you have to, the big thing is clip it or pin it in place and fold it over before you sew.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to be taking out stitches, and you're using a very small stitch width because you almost want to perforate the paper so that when you're ready to take it out, it's like perforated paper. You just rip it and it comes right out. So you're using like a 1.5 inch stitch length, which means there are a ton of stitches that you need to take out without either ripping the fabric or the paper. This is not easy. So there are a whole bunch of things that you need to keep in mind when you're doing it.
Look at what you get.
I know, look at that. I mean, that's really, really
And once you get the hang of it, it's really kind of a fun, for me, it was a fun process.
Yes. So I will be doing his bottom half. I did this past weekend, and I was trying to decide, do I do his bottom half or do I work on my other sewing project? And I went with the other sewing project so I could have a little bit more to show of that too. So there he is. I am on track to finish him within the allotted time.
Okay. My history class is civics. And I'm making a donkey.
He's so cool.
This is a very big donkey. This is from the Moosh and Friends book by Cynthia Valet. It's a whole bunch of farm animals. But I have done a couple of her projects that were not part of Motion Friends that are patterns on Ravelry, and they are maybe half the size he is. So I was expecting him to be about that size. Um, and I was knitting his arms, and I'm like, okay, dude has freakishly long arms.
He did.
I mean, once I got his body, he's a little bit more proportionate, but I mean, look at the shoulders. I don't want to meet.
She looked at me this morning and she's like, Horatio does not skip on arm day.
Look at these shoulders. I finished his body last night. I have to, and I stuffed him quickly this morning so I could show him. Because she has you knit him. You start at the nose, and you come all the way around. You never drop stitches or anything like that. It's all one piece. You knit the arms and legs like they're sleeves. His feet, I have tiny little heels that I had to turn. His rear end is like a giant heel that you turn. It's really a fascinating pattern. I love him.
He is fantastic.
And I chose, rather than using a gray or a brown, because I didn't have one on hand, to use a random skein that we had all balled up and ready to go. It's the leftover from something. And I love his little variegatedness. I have to do his tail. These are the stitches set aside for his tail, and then his clothing. So I will finish him in the allotted time.
Does he have overalls?
Yes.
She's going to knit him a pair of overalls.
He also has a backpack. And I think, yeah, he has a hat.
Okay.
So I have accessories to make for him. But somebody left us a comment on one of our older previous videos about him, and asking if the stuffies, she wants to knit a stuffy, and are they hard to make. Some of them, it depends on your designer. Hers are, I would say, intermediate. If you follow her directions, if you follow the directions, it's okay. But sometimes you're doing it and it's like, that makes no sense to me.
Right.
And then you just do it and it's like, oh, okay, I think I get it. But they're fiddly.
Yeah, they're a little bit fiddly.
Because coming up, it's starting at the nose and coming up and over, you're doing a lot of short rows for shaping of the head, and then very small circumferences for your limbs. So that, but all in all, it's a good pattern, and I enjoy it. However, Susan B. Anderson, her patterns are very accessible as far as the stuffies are concerned, and Susan Claudino's are also very easy. And they use larger weight. Well, I could use any weight, but I mean, imagine if I had used DK yarn on him. It'd be life size.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is Horatio the donkey. His name may change. That's the name of the pattern. And I'm really quite thrilled with him.
He is so cool. I mean, he is really, really cool.
I will do his tail quickly. It's a big old I-cord, and then get to work on his overalls.
Okay.
Oh, and I'll sew up his bottom.
All right.
But I have to finish stuff him just a little bit more.
Okay.
But I love the way he sticks out of my bag.
He's so cool. He's got such a character and interest in his face.
I love knitting the stuffies, just because I love having them. I've always been a stuffed animal.
Yeah, from the very beginning. All right, I'm going into my English class now. I am knitting Alphonse. I have not done anything on him since our last update. I was doing his head and I got to the short rows and I think I did too many because I don't have the right number of stitches, so I have to take it back. And I haven't done that yet. I keep putting it off and putting it off. So once I get going on it, I should be able to pick it up and go fairly quickly. So I have to take it back a certain amount and figure out where I am and then get started again. So for him, I don't really have an update. I should be able to finish him, I'm hoping, in the allotted time. I'll see once I get started on it again. But right now, he is at the bottom of my bag, waiting his turn to get done.
Okay, my English project is cross stitch. I am doing It is The Earth Has Music. For those who listen, it is by Stitchrovia, and it's a book that she did.
That is Knit for the
Knit for the Earth. So the quote is William Shakespeare. And this is the one that I probably will not finish. I have the first quadrant that I finished.
It's so pretty.
It really is. I adore it, and I'm really excited to have this framed. But I love
the vine with the leaves, or
Yeah.
the tree with the leaves and everything. It's just so pretty.
And then the little birds. And the lettering her lettering is gorgeous.
She always has gorgeous lettering.
So I'm going to come over here and do the second half of the top next. So we'll fill out Earth and music. And then, we'll see from there. I love working on it. It's just cross stitches slow.
It is. Okay, I'm going to do my cross stitch also. So this is one of my science classes. I am doing botany, and my cross stitch falls in under that. I have it in my sewing buddy that I made, which is perfect for a cross stitch project.
The sewing buddy is by Rosie Taylor Designs.
And I am doing also from Knit for the Earth by Stitchrovia. I'm doing one that is Enjoy the Little Things. And that is what the pattern looks like. I am halfway done because
she's so much further along.
Well, it's a smaller project than
true.
yours. So I am halfway done. I did the left side.
It's fantastic.
So when I decided to do this, I did not realize that enjoy the little things meant all the bugs of the earth. Because there are a lot.
Well, you got a mouse and a bird.
So the reason I'm doing this because of botany is because it's got mushrooms as well. But definitely flora and fauna.
Plus cross stitch the earth. I mean, that makes you.
Yeah. So it's I've done a little centipede down here. There's going to be a larger millipede up here. I have a snail down here and a slug up here that I need to finish because they both go back into the other. Or actually, I think the slug I went over and finished that one. But there are a couple more moths and mushrooms also. It's beautiful.
It is. The colors are gorgeous.
The colors are so fall and me. I just adore these.
And I mean, the little things, it's just, enjoy the little things of life too. So
that's what I was thinking about it when I was doing it. That's the reason I chose it. So it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. And I'm excited to see how it turns out. I'm really excited is to finish it, get it into a hoop, and then I'm going to hang it on the wall.
Oh, you're going to put it in a hoop? That'll be good.
I think it's going to be perfect.
Because it'll be round, rather than trying to find a round frame.
For this particular size, it's perfect for a hoop. So I'm just going to put it in one of those, tie a ribbon on it, and hang it on the wall.
It'll be gorgeous.
And it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
So I really love working on it when I have the time to do.
Okay, my botany, I need to stand up and show. My botany project is my hand sewing project. And it is my rosemary quilt, which I'm going to show you because I got yelled at last time for not standing up and showing the whole thing. So this is a part English paper piece, part machine piece quilt. And I decided to take my hand at hand quilting for the first time. And I'm doing a very simple stitch. I am putting an X through the plain pieces you can barely see. And then just outlining the rosemary flower. I am finding that hand quilting may not be my thing. I don't mind it so much. It's not always going to be the one that, like if I have time for hand stitching, I'm going to grab cross stitch.
Right.
Not necessarily quilting. I mean, I don't have to think as much. Like I don't have to be looking at a pattern or anything like that. So I can do it in times where I wouldn't necessarily be cross stitching. I'm not thrilled with the look of it. It looks
the way you're holding it, I don't think you can really see anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one here. The red one you can kind of see.
Okay.
The X there. It's a very primitive look, the hand stitching.
Do you think it would be different if you did it with a thicker thread? So it really showed up as like cantha quilting almost?
No, but I don't want that.
Okay.
I just want it to be quilted. I don't want it to be the quilting as the artwork. The quilt
Right.
itself is the artwork, as far as I'm concerned.
You're very carefully picking threads that show up. It's not like you're trying to hide the threads. So I can see that you're carefully picking.
Some of them, I mean, like the black is black thread.
Okay. But like on this one, this green, you've got it brown. That
'cause I don't-
matches the branches, but it shows up in the green.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then
have the green.
Coming around, you've got the red.
These I wanted it to show. The rosemary flower
Okay.
I wanted it to show, and the others I'm trying to get it to blend in a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
Like the
Sorry,
red.
you're not doing a very good job.
Well, no, because I don't have the colors of the threads. But I know part of it is I was using the wrong needle, so I have ordered stronger needles because I was using my English paper piecing needle, and I knew going in that I was using the wrong needle, but I'm just like,
get started,
right? So I am about halfway done. I've done 4.5, I think, of the 5. There are 9 rows.
Okay, so you really are halfway done.
So I mean, I'm getting there. I'll finish it, but I think probably I will go machine quilting from now on.
Okay.
It's a learning process. I don't hate it. It's just not something that I will ever really gravitate towards, I think.
You said that you thought it was better doing it on the table as opposed to doing it in your lap also.
Yeah, I changed my mind about that fairly quickly because in the end I took it off the table and was holding it in my lap when we were talking.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of getting it because there's a lot of bulk to it too. And when you're in the middle, then you've got bulk on all sides.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
Don't hate it. Don't love it.
It's going to be an awesome quilt when you're done, though.
It is. It's going to be a really beautiful quilt.
I mean, the quilt is gorgeous.
It'll be perfect for the winter because it's kind of wintry colors.
Right.
And I believe the fabric that I chose is actually considered a Christmas fabric, but it doesn't necessarily
scream
Christmas. It screams winter.
Right.
So I will finish hand quilting it. I will bind it, and it will be done. However, I've been holding off on my mandolin quilt, which was my full English paper piece quilt, to hand quilt it, and I believe I've gotten over that.
Okay, so that's going to be...
That'll be machine, whether I do it or somebody else does it.
Okay.
It's going to be machine done. So that is my botany.
Okay. It's beautiful. It really is.
Oh, and this is my back. Okay.
All right. Can you move down just a tiny little bit? Thank you. All right. Moving on to math class. I am doing geometry. And for my geometry, I said that I was going to try and get 2 blocks of my Queen of Diamonds quilt done. This is my hand sewing. So we did mention at the beginning, but we really didn't go into it. We had different, you had to pick 5 different classes, and you had to pick 4 different techniques that you would be using: knitting or crocheting, something you're doing with wool, hand sewing, a cross stitch, and a machine sewing. And then you have a 5th class that's an elective that can be anything you like. So my hand sewing is my Queen of Diamonds, which is an English paper piecing quilt. I did, when Helen and I first started it, when they were doing it as a make along a year and a half ago. I think it was like last April or something like that, a year ago April. A year ago April was just really terrible for us, but we kept up with it for a little bit, but then it just got put aside. So I have picked it back up. I love my fabrics. I absolutely love my fabrics. I'm doing it all in Anita Duram, and I just adore the blocks when they're finished. I hate hand sewing so much. So I finished the first one, and I have basted the second one. I've picked the fabrics and basted the second one, and I've started sewing them together. I was very, very tempted to do it on the machine and machine sew the pieces together, because I was watching somebody else do that. And I was very, very tempted, but this is my hand sewing part, so I felt that might be kind of cheating. So I am going to finish hand sewing the second one, and then I think the next one that I try and do outside of back to school projects, I will try and do it with the machine and see how that works versus hand sewing, and if I can do it that way. But for what I have done, this is one block.
It's fantastic.
So I basted around, I basted it, no, I based it around him. He was the middle one that I picked first, and then I matched everything with it. This is all from her art club collection. And I fussy cut each of the little diamonds in the middle so that I got the mice in each of them. So that's how that looks right now.
To me, that's part of the fun of English paper piecing, is the fussy cutting.
Yes.
And being quite proud of yourself when you get it just right. And
well, your rosemaries on your quilt.
yeah,
I was looking at some of them with the birds and the rabbits and the deer inside the diamonds, and you did such a great job with it. So my second block is block 5-2, and it is going to look like this, with all those funky little triangles and diamonds.
But at least they're relatively big pieces.
That's right side up.
I mean, they're a lot, but they're on a ton of pieces.
22 altogether.
Okay.
So not bad.
Not.
I mean, it's not, the last one I had started with 36 little triangles.
Yeah.
I mean, this is nothing. All right. So this one, I based the whole thing around fitting him in that triangle. So this is Leapfrog, the Leapfrog collection, and it will all be done from that. My bigger triangles are the dragonflies in blue and green, so they are going to butt up against each other like this, going around to make the sides of the diamond. And then the smaller diamonds are going to be this yellow check, and then I have little triangles in this very, very light teal that will be going up against those. And then beautiful. The 2 middle pieces are going to be him and him. Actually, this one goes up like that, so they're going to be like that.
Fantastic.
So I have 3 of these little kite pieces already sewn together. So I'm well on my way. I will finish hand sewing all of these and put it all together. And then, as I said, next one I'm going to try and do on the machine and see how that works. But I will finish hand sewing these because that's what I contracted for. and then I don't know. I love cross stitching. I just hate hand sewing. Not for me. But the final product is so cool. I just love all my blocks when I'm done. So yeah, we'll see. So I'm working my way through.
The quilt is going to be fantastic.
It is. It really is. So I'm very slowly but surely working my way through the Queen of Diamonds. So we shall see how it goes. But I will give you an update next time. Who knows? This should definitely be done. I only have to finish piecing it. So yeah, within back to school, I should definitely be done this one. That will go with my others. So that part, math class will be over. I won't have to worry about that.
All right. One of my projects, my wings quilt, is I have not touched it, so I'm not even going to show it. I'll show it next time because I'll get work done on it. But my math class, I'm going to finish because I know this for a certainty because it's done.
He's already done.
So my math class was the foundation paper piecing, and I made this cat. So I made the block of the cat, and then in the book that we have with the foundation paper piecing pattern, she has all these different bags. So I made him into a messenger bag.
He is so cool.
He is.
Honestly,
he is fantastic.
This bag is such a cool bag.
The bag is fantastic. It's got a magnetic snap. 2 pockets inside. There's a sleeve with stiffer interfacing that goes on the bottom. So the bottom is stiff and stays. And then you have an adjustable handle. I love it. And it's a perfect size for like a carry-all purse kind of thing.
Throw it over your pocket, your shoulder, and go.
You throw your wallet in, you throw your book in, pair of socks to be knitting.
Yeah.
And you are all set to go. The background fabric is a Tim Holtz fabric that we had. And I just love how it works with the cat.
Yeah. The inside fabric is also a different Tim Holtz.
Is a different Tim Holtz, yep. So I just love how crazy he is with his little crazy eyes and everything.
I know. So cool.
I really enjoyed the foundation paper piecing. Learning how to do it and then doing it. So I will be continuing on with FPP.
Yeah. Okay.
My bag.
All right. So not to be on the video, but she doesn't have you sew this down?
No, because it's part of the adjusting.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. With mine, I think I sewed it down and then you only adjusted this part.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how you did that. Oh, you know what? I bet you did it like that. I bet the one that I did had you folded over like that.
Oh, okay.
So it was sewn down like that. So this isn't flapping.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. It's gorgeous. It's so cool. Yeah. I love that.
Math class, A+.
Yes. So cool.
Yeah.
All right. My final class, my elective class is chemistry, and I am doing potions. This is my spooky shelfie quilt that I'm making. This is by Riley Blake. I'm pretty sure the designer is Melissa Mortensen. I am pretty sure I mentioned this the last time, and I'm probably going to mention it every time I show pieces. I love doing a box quilt like this. This came in a box with all the pieces that you needed. They're not cut out. You get fat quarters or half yards or whatever you need, and you have to cut out all the pieces, but all of the fabrics are picked for you in a box. It comes with a little pile of instructions, and what she does is she has you do each block separately, so that she has you cut the fabric for that block, make it, then cut the fabric for the next block and make it. There are some that you need to worry about directionality and fussy cutting. So she gives you the instructions on how to cut all the pieces out of that particular block, so that you make sure that you're getting the fussy cutting pieces that you need. So those you cut all at once, but there are only like 3 or 4 of them. Everything else, like the the ghosts, it doesn't matter which way it's going, so you can cut it out of wherever in the fabric. But something like the faces in the window, you want to make sure you're getting going the right way. So um I have finished. Having said that, I did not make sure they were going the right way, because they're going up and down instead of across. But I have finished 2 more blocks of books. That's 1 block of books. And here's the next block of books. So now I have 4 blocks of books overall. I have 3 more to do because there are 7. But I wanted to show something different. So I went a little bit out of order and I did the medium pumpkin blocks. And I now have 3 medium pumpkin blocks.
These are
That
fantastic.
are all exactly the same, except you put the fabrics in different orders and things like that. But I did these on Saturday afternoon. It took me about 2 hours to do these 3, so not a long time at all, and I had so much fun doing them. Really, really enjoyed them.
The great thing about doing it block by block is it's an achievable
It is.
thing. It's not like, oh, it's an all afternoon cutting,
Right.
or which goes with which. Like, I mean, my tea party quilt, I have it all cut out, but it's not like that where cut this for this.
Right.
And now I have to go searching for the pieces and everything, so it's kind of daunting.
I know, because some of them, like this black one, I had to cut that all to make sure that I got the pieces for another block in the right order. So I cut the whole thing. Then I had to search through all the pieces for a tiny little 2x2 square.
Okay.
That you had to find the right 2x2 square. But I have not done a ton of quilting. So half square triangles, I made half square triangles and did that the right way. I snowballed my edges, this was a complete rectangle of orange coming out, and you lay the white over it and draw a line and then sew on the line and cut it off and iron it properly. And then all of a sudden you have a cut off edge for the rounded edges. It's just, I'm doing different things, nothing difficult or that I couldn't do,
Right.
other than following directions and making sure that I cut the directionality right, so that your books aren't going sideways, they're going the right way. But
Who's really going to notice?
yeah, it's just, they're very cool. I'm really, really enjoying doing this. I love making these blocks. I want to work on this and none of the other things I'm supposed to be working on. It's like, oh, let's go play in the sewing room and make quilt blocks.
Right.
Yeah, so that's where I am with that.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that is it on the schoolwork.
Yep. So I think the only thing we have left to do is, I know that somebody may want to know. So I am wearing the Wanderer sweater. I made this out of Chaos. This was the last yarn that we dyed in, I think, 2022, before we got started up again in 2023. So this is the Wanderer sweater by
Tin Can Knits.
I'm pretty sure it's Tin Can Knits.
Mine is the Fab Brioche cardigan. I knit it up last year. It was when I knit a sweater in a month. Yes, I can. It's a big old brioche. I forget who it's by. I'll put it down below. But
it's a great sweater.
Just a big old squishy sweater.
Yeah.
And it's a chilly fall day, so it's perfect.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So I think that's just about it. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't think so. So if you
go ahead.
If you want to do the trick or treat, that's available now through Halloween, and we will be back on Friday for our live stream where we will be.
I am going to be casting on the Mystery Knit Along that Chit Chat Knits is doing, Darcy is doing. It is, I never remember it.
Better Than Fiction.
Better Than Fiction. So I got my first clue, and I have my yarns picked out. I will cake them up and get ready. So I will be casting on Friday. If you are doing it, you can let me know if there are any things that I need to look forward to. But other than that, we will be doing that on Friday, and then next Tuesday we will have a video for you using Halloween scraps, doing all different projects with that. So that will be something fun to look forward to.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week.
Go forth and create.
And we will see you on Friday for our live broadcast, 12 noon Eastern Standard Time.
Right. And
Live.
for our Florida friends, buckle up.
Yeah, we got you in our minds.
Yep.
We're thinking about you. So sending you good thoughts.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.